Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Steven here from Epicurean Smokes and the Epicurean Gentleman. Today we're doing an unboxing of a new humidor. This is the TISFA, and the box reads Dual Precise Hygrometer Cigar Humidor and Travel Cigar Tube Set. So it's a mouthful. Let's get into this box and see what they've sent us. So I love doing these unboxing reviews. I love showing what each of these kits entails because they're all just a little bit different. And I will have to say that the packaging on these always is done very, very well. They come in a big outer box with this smaller box inside, and then lots of this foam protective stuff above and below the humidor. So really, really well padded. Let's get rid of that. And we have our humidor again, nicely protected. We'll get into this padded material here. I've had quite a few of these humidors for review, specifically from TISFA. So if you haven't seen those reviews, check them out both here on the channel and on my Instagram as well. So far, this one is a fair bit larger than what I've seen on some of the other humidors that are being made by TISFA. I'm peeling away the protective cover on top of the hygrometer, and this one has two, which is kind of catching my eye just initially looking at it. You have one I'm showing you on the top, and you have another one here in the front. And I think I can see why they're doing this. So when you look at the construction of the humidor, there's a compartment up above, which this hygrometer, and I'm going to turn it on for us, this hygrometer is sensing, and there is a humidor compartment below that, which I'm going to take this tray out. Get rid of the silica. And so here we have a nice cedar tray. It's got a nice smell on it. None of that kind of like plasticky smell you get on some humidors. So inside here, we've got, you can see my hand through the glass, we've got yet another hygrometer down here. It'll be interesting to see as I actually use this humidor whether this is necessary or not, because this is a vented tray, and so generally you would kind of expect that the box is going to sit at the same humidity. But if you've ever had a humidor like this with two levels, you will know that the lower, the lower portion always has a higher humidity. And that's both because the upper portion sits closer to the seal, and also on these glass tops, sometimes you'll find that certain brands will have an associated leak with the seals around the glass top. This has a nice notch to be able to grab it and open and close. And now that I've done it a couple times, each time that I have opened and closed the humidor, I actually hear a suction, which is a really, really good sign on a humidor because it lets you know that the seals are very, very good. So I'm going to open this and I'm going to close it and let you hear it. And you can hear the suction as it closes. So that's a really good sign for this. The top of this reads 1492 Cuba Cigar Humidor. So a little homage to 1492. And so we'll get into this particular humidor, which has some boxes inside and some instructions for us. So the instructions come with a little picture here. It shows the features. So we've got the transparent glass window, we've got the dual hygrometers, and we're going to get into these boxes and look at the rest of what comes with this humidor. So this particular box holds the two humidity bead systems. I actually really like these. You know, a lot of folks kind of go, you know, whatever humidity system it comes with, just chuck it and grab some Bovidas and put it in there. You can do that, but I will say that I have used these on all of the trial humidors that I have received from TISFA, and I actually like these a lot. In my larger humidors, like my my Herf 450 counts, for example, I've gotten used to actually using the Humicare beads, and it's just for ease. If you're going through, you know, kind of humidity solution or distilled water, it's just so much easier to pour a little distilled water in to these humidity bead systems. They puff right back up. They last about a year, and so you don't end up having to buy more and more packs for those pack systems like with Boveda and the others. So I like these. I will use these with this humidor. I think that's cool. And let's get into the other box. The other box is supposed to have our travel kit here. And it comes like this. It's a case with 3 tubes, and the ends have a silicone seal around the rim there. And inside the cap of each one, you have some humidity beads. And so you can use your dropper that this comes with, and the distilled water can be droppered in through the little vents, and these humidity beads will puff up inside here. And when you put your cigar in, the idea is that with this seal, this is going to keep the cigar humidified. Interesting thing about this that I really like is that these slide apart. So if you don't need to take 3 cigars, you can actually use them as individual tubes. So I really, really like that part of it. So you've got kind of the home base plus the travel. So that's kind of a nice bit of kit. We'll make sure that we don't miss anything here. Yeah, it's got some really nice hinges on it. It talks about adding the distilled water to the humidor. It's got some seasoning instructions for those who've not gone down that road before. So a nice bit of kit, whether it's for somebody just starting off that has some intention to need the additional space for a little bit larger of a desktop. This is actually a really, really nice choice. I kind of wish I had something like this initially when I first started, because it's a nice display piece. You know, you can see into it. It seems like the seals are pretty good. One of the things that we can do to test our seals when we first get a humidor is the dollar bill test, or we can do that test with some paper. And so this is an easy way to do it. And you can see that it's tight enough that even this single sheet of paper is not really moving around and wouldn't really even close so without a little pressure. And so these kind of tests give you a lot of information about how tight that seal is. And so generally speaking, if you have more mobility in the seal, more space in the seal, such that you could remove a piece of paper or remove a dollar bill, you know that that seal isn't very tight. And it really doesn't take much to tighten up a seal on a leaky humidor. So if you do have a leaky humidor, you can always use a strip of Scotch tape around the rim, around the actual seal itself. And that will take up that hair of a millimeter of leak space in your humidor. However, this one, it has a proficient seal. There's no issue around that so far as I can see. The other thing to draw attention to is the bottom of this humidor has another drawer, which is cedar lined. I don't know if it would hold humidity, but that's not what it's intended for. This is intended as an accessory drawer, so you have a place to put your cutters and lighters and all that. And from someone who has a spouse that does not like the cigar clutter, this is a really good idea to be able to kind of hide away your cutters and lighters and accoutrement inside this nice looking box. So overall, I think it's a really neat system. I'm going to season it up and put some cigars in here. As always, I appreciate you for tuning into my reviews. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Patreon as well. Bye.